I hate art challenges.
Illustrations by me.
That's not annoying at all. So you don't understand. They're actually stacking the deck in their favor. When they do this art challenge thing, they're not limiting themselves. They're giving themselves so much of an advantage you have no idea. Like, oh, I'm gonna use every pink art supply I can. And they go out and they buy all the pink art supplies. And now they have 400 pink art supplies to use in art. That's cheating. I'm going to do my own art challenge, and it's going to be only the colors that are in my palette. That's all I can use. And that way I'm not cheating. I'm not going and buying extra stuff to use them on an art project. I'm just going to use what I have. That's the art challenge. So this one, I wanted to do something a little dreamy, a little bit interesting, maybe a little like a psychedelic dream thing. And I only did it using what I have. If I don't have it, I promise I didn't use it. Alright, let's get into it. Now stay tuned till the end because Violetta sent in some artwork and I want to show that to you. I don't know if she meant to do this, but she participated in this challenge. I'm not sure if it was intentional or not, but she did, and she only used the art supplies that she had. So that's a wonderful thing, and this is going to catch on. You're going to see a lot of people doing this. It's going to be the next biggest thing on TikTok. It's going to take over on YouTube. Everybody's going to be doing it. Within a week, it'll be the biggest thing. Only using what you have. You'll see. It'll be the greatest art challenge ever. Alright, so this started out with a couple different ways. Now first, I just want to point out I did use some masking fluid in the beginning. If you're going to use masking fluid, take a brush that you don't care about. Not one that you're ever going to use for watercolor again or use for anything really ever again. This is just going to be a brush that you use just for masking fluid. It's a cheap garbage brush. I put an M on it so that I know that's the masking fluid brush. And I have another one that's a little bit smaller, but I didn't use that one, so that was pointless in even mentioning it. But the point is, using this one brush and only using it, and I do clean it out immediately. I try and get everything out as quick as I possibly can. It works pretty well. I mean, at the end of the day, when I go to use that brush, it feels like a normal brush. It doesn't feel like it has all the latex stuck in it, but I know it does. I know there's something in there that I couldn't get out. And so you want to make sure you do that. You want to make sure you get all that masking fluid out. So don't ruin any of your good watercolor brushes. Just get a cheap like model brush or something. And just one of those cheap ones you can find at the dollar store. Use that for your masking fluid. And then you got to wait for it to dry. And now here's what I did. I put warm colors for the background. So I took whatever warm colors that I wanted to use that I already had. I didn't buy anything new. And I just used those warm colors in the background, and I tried to make a little bit glowy around the bottom right area. Glowy's a word. Don't look at me like that. Glowy is a word. And so when I put the glowy color in there, you'll see it, and it'll glow. It's what it's supposed to do. That's what it does. It's a glowy color. So I put that in the bottom a little bit just to kind of highlight. So what I wanted it to make it look like, I guess, after I was doing it for a little while. Not right away. I had no idea what I was doing right away. I knew I wanted to make like these weird little like psychedelic entities things flowing towards this mushroom. And I did do the mushroom on purpose. That mushroom thing that comes out here in a minute, I did that part on purpose. I wanted to make it look like a mushroom on the side. I didn't know I was going to do all the other stuff. But I was thinking of adding some eyes in here, and I may still go back to it and do that if I want to, but I didn't this time. I just left it alone. But anyway, warmer colors in the background, and then I used the cooler colors under the masking fluid. Now, I use my finger to take the masking fluid off. You do not have to do that. A lot of people don't do that. They use the gum eraser, or they use whatever kind of... For me, I'm going to rub my fingers on it anyway, because I'm going to try and figure out if I have any extra like latex laying on the page that I still haven't pulled off yet. So that's what I do. I use my finger and I just scrape it off and then make sure, okay, everything's clean. And then I just go ahead and put in the other paint. And I put the cool colors in the empty space then. So the main subjects are cooler colors, the background is warmer colors and a little bit darker. And then I started to do this and I'm realizing, okay, I need to put a little bit more, just a little bit more. It wasn't really getting what I wanted, so I added some extra color into the color. I kept doing that a few times. And then after I did all the ink for the entire thing, and if you look at the ink, it's also broken lines. I didn't do like solid lines and outline the whole thing. I did kind of broken, sketchy lines around it and made it look kind of dreamy looking. And I liked how that was, but it just wasn't good enough. I had to go back and add some more contrast. That's what I like. I like the contrast, and I always say that I like the contrast. And whenever I have something that I just say I don't think I like it as much, it's because it's missing contrast. So I go back in, I add a little bit more contrast. It was after I did everything else, after I signed my name. It was the next day, as a matter of fact. I looked at it and I said, just not done. Something has to be done more to this piece. I added the contrast in, and only in certain spots. I could have done a lot more. I didn't. But I only added it into certain spots where it made sense to me. And I really love the way that it came out. I think it came out great. I love this piece. Probably one of my favorite pieces I've made in a while now. And I just think it's a good one. And so I completed the challenge. I used only what was available to me. I think I did a good job doing that. I was tempted to go get something else. I didn't. But this is what I did. And I don't think people realize, look, when you have these people doing these color challenges and they're like, oh, I'm going to use 500 of these green different products and they're all green. I'm going to use them all. When you learn to use like Copic markers or something like that, they always tell you get 3 similar colors. Get a darker color, a mid-tone, and then a light color of roughly the same family. That's what you're supposed to do. That's how you're supposed to use art products when you go in. That's why they can make those look cool and look good, is because they're using the same method. They just have many different shades of the same color. They're blending them together in different ways, and it ends up looking cool. You're supposed to do that anyway. That's not a challenge. I don't understand why people think that's a challenge. This is a challenge. Only using what you have. Now that's a challenge, and some people don't have less. They don't have as much. They got like their pencil and a piece of copy paper, and they got to try and make something with that. That's a challenge. So if you want to participate, I want you to send something in. If you're going to participate, just send it over to me. The email's down below, and just send me the image and say, I participated in your challenge, and I only used what I had, and you can hashtag me on whatever you do. I don't know if I have it, but you just hashtag me somewhere. I'm sure someone will see it and they'll say, oh, okay, I don't know what that is, but this person hashtags, so maybe I will too. And then they start doing it. It's like a big community thing. Don't worry, in a little while, this will take like a week to catch on, and everybody will be doing it. So you just do it first. You say, yeah, I was one of the first people to do it, and then everybody will know. Okay, now there's something that I've really been thinking about. I want to talk about that now that I got the important stuff out of the way. You know, I think don't yell at me yet. Just let me finish my thought before you yell at me. A lot of people, this is a very sensitive issue for a lot of people. So just I want you to go and whatever medication you have that you take usually to calm down, take that, then finish listening to this. So the one benefit of AI art that I think no one is talking about, and there is a benefit. It may not, you have to really look hard, but I think there is one. If you draw or you paint like representational pieces of living things, like hands or faces or animals, and they just come out jacked. You have no idea how you did that. It just comes out terrible looking. You can't even make something look that bad, but you happen to do that. I know I do that sometimes. You can just say, no, it came out exactly the way the reference photo did. It came out just the way the AI art came out. Because for some reason, no matter what they do, AI art can't figure out living things. The fingers are all jacked up. The turtles have like fins coming out of their head. They don't understand because it's a machine. It has no idea what it's actually doing. It's just doing what the morons who programmed it told it to do, and they don't know what they're doing. So it comes out all messed up. Just say, no, I drew this exactly the way that the reference photo is. It was AI art, so that's how it looked. And you have a perfect excuse of why your art looks like garbage. That's just, it may not look like garbage. It may look better that way if you do it that way, but it just, why it doesn't look the way it's supposed to look. That's one thing you can always tell. I was watching some video and the guy's telling a story and has all these images, and I thought, oh, they look interesting, but something's really weird about them. And then I started noticing, well, the hands have like 47 fingers. They're all coming out of the center of the palm. They're not right. There's just the head, the eye is in the wrong place. It's just, and it was AI art. That's what they were doing. It's very easy to spot. It's not very creative. It's very dumb. It's very moronic, and you'll never say, "Oh, someone did that on purpose." They make Van Gogh look like a photorealistic painting. That's what it looks like, because it's just that terrible. It's just, oh, now maybe if they do like scenery or backgrounds, landscapes, oh yeah, okay, it looks cool, I get it. But really, when it comes to people and living things, you just can't get that right. You have a horse with like 47 hooves. You got like a giraffe, and it looks like its neck is more like its tail, but it's supposed in the wrong spot. It doesn't know what it's doing. And I've really been thinking, well, how can we make this into a positive? I know you can just say when your stuff looks all messed up, that's what it was. You were just using that as your reference. I think that works. So you tell me. Let me know down below. Do you think that'll work? Can we say that? Is that okay? I don't know. A lot of people are very angry right now with the AI stuff. We have that whole big lawsuit happening where people are suing. And I agree with them. By the way, I do agree with the people that are saying, no, that's my art that they used, and they didn't take any permission to use it. And also, it's not the same as like me, who I study other people's art. And I say, okay, this is what inspires me, and I may include elements of that person's art. I don't copy their pieces, but I use elements of their art in my art because I like it. And that's so I start creating art that looks like it. So, but it's different because it's not a human being learning something. It's a machine who's just copying by taking their actual art and jumbling it up inside of it without any kind of permission. And then they spit it back out, and sometimes it almost looks identical to the original piece, like certain parts of it. You have to watch that if you have art around. Nobody's going to copy. They're not feeding my art to the AI art. I promise you that. But they're saying, oh, it looks like this already was processed by AI art, and they got it wrong. That's what they say when they look at my pieces. But I'm just saying, if you have art out there that's realistic, very, very realistic, representational, photorealism, whatever you're doing, and you just want to check, make sure, hey, is there any of that stuff in my art, or their art for my art? You know what I'm saying. So when you're going to look at that, it's just pay attention once in a while. That's all I'm saying. Now, after saying all that, I know what's going to happen. After everything I just said, there's going to be some lunatic out there always is, who's going to latch on to that Van Gogh statement, and they're going to say, actually, Van Gogh did some realism and looked really good. It was really... I know. I'm talking about after he went crazy and cut off his ear because he thought it was a butterfly or whatever crap happened. That's what I'm talking about, when he had the faces all twisted and eye up here. And that's what I mean. That's what I'm talking about, not the real... I know he did some realistic stuff. It was very good, very wonderful, good for him. But it's not what I'm saying when I'm saying that. You know what I'm saying. You just wanted to point that out to make me feel stupid. And you don't have to point anything out to make me feel stupid. So, listen, this is a part of what we're doing here, is just talking about the AI stuff. That's what this whole conversation was about, not him. So you don't have to do it. And even though I say that, I'm sure someone's still going to do it. And that's okay. If you are compelled to correct everyone, that's okay. You can do that here. We still love you here. You can just, whatever you want to correct. It doesn't matter. There's plenty to correct, I'll tell you that. You listen to me more than for 5 minutes, and you have a book to write. So here's something else I want to tell you, and that is, life's not fair. And that's really all I have to say about that. I think that I can use that as the answer for everything. When someone starts talking, 99% of conversations is someone complaining about something. So when they start complaining about it, the end statement is just, well, life's not fair. That answers almost every conversation I have, I could say that in. And I think I'm going to start a movement is what I'm doing. And the only thing you need to do is spread the word, life's not fair. Or, here, how about this? Maybe life's not fair, so become an artist and create your own world. Then do us both a favor and leave me out of it. We both win that way. So that's what matter of fact, I'm making pins down below. You're going to look on the merch shelf down below and find that pin. It's going to be one of the first things. I'm going to make that. We're going to start this movement. And I think that's what we need to tell people, because that's all people do anymore is they complain about every little thing and just, I can't believe this happened. I can't believe this person said this, and I can't believe this person wanted to do that, and I can't believe... Really? This world is full of lunatics. You couldn't believe that someone would want to do that? Really? Is that really what you're telling me? If that's the case, then you're the lunatic, and maybe I need to relay that pin to you. I'm just saying, I don't know, I'm in a rammy mood today. I just decided that I was gonna just go off on some things. But anyway, I think I'm gonna start that movement. So if you want to join this resistance, you just let me know. Let me know in the comments below that you agree. That's what we're doing from now on. That's what we're gonna answer people. We may get fired over it. I may have to answer my boss that way once in a while, but you don't do that. I'll do that. I'll let you know how that works out. But I'm definitely going to start doing that for some people. But I don't think it would stop them right in their tracks. And they're like, oh, this happened and this happened. Yeah, life's not fair. And I don't know. I want to sound condescending at all. That's not what I'm doing. I'm trying to sound sympathetic. But you should know that something bad's going to happen. Something bad always happens. It's not a negative thing. I'm not being a downer or anything like that. Just bad things happen sometimes. They always do in life. And life sucks sometimes. That's what happens. It's not fair. So that's what I'm going to tell people. Just reinforce that for them. Let them know, yes, I understand what you're saying. Life's not fair. I think that would end the conversation. And we both will just be relieved of the awkwardness that we're talking about. Okay, so Violetta sent in some artwork. Let's take a look at this first one. This is called Farmlands. And you can tell that I don't know what they're growing on this farmland, but it looks kind of like an Alice in Wonderland farmland thing. And but it's very interesting to look at. You have like this thing going in and out of this other thing, and then it goes in and out of nothing because it's on the edge. And then you have all these other shapes and textures. There's a lot to look at, and I think that's one of the things that I really enjoy about it. There's just so many little things to focus on, and they're shaded and they're textured, and so that makes it look really cool. This next one, this is Frog Prince, and the thing that I like about this one is that you can really, first of all, I see the frog, and I would have seen it anyway because I'm glad it's in the name. But you see the frog, and then all of a sudden this frog is wearing a hat, and I'm guessing, I don't know what that hat is made of, but it looks interesting. I think the top part there is the most interesting thing for me, is the hat up. If that's a hat. I don't know if that's a hat, but that's what I took it as, a hat. And that's probably the most interesting thing to me on that one. This next one is Man with a Lot on His Mind. And you can see the face down there, but I might not have picked that up right away if I was not looking at it, if it wasn't in the name. But then again, there's just so many details, so many things to look at, so many different areas to focus on and try and make out, what is that? What could that be? And that's what I enjoy about this art. Now, she did say that this was inspired by Peter Draws. I think she meant the wrong Peter, but that's okay. No, I know. He does what he does, and he's the best at what he does. He's a master at his own craft, and he inspires me as well. I watch every different show that ever shows up from him. I watch them because they do inspire me. It's what got me into doodling, was watching his art. So thank you, Violetta, for sending in your artwork. I really appreciate it. I really like looking at it. And if you have any artwork that you want to send into the channel for me to put it up at the end of a video, if you want to be at all associated with me, and if you don't, I understand. That's fine too. But there's an email down below. You can send it to there. Thumb up the video if you are going to join the resistance and let people know, hey, look, sometimes life is not fair. Alright, that's about it for me. I'm going to go. I'll see you in the next one.